So the state of basic business and economics education is not very good. And, one of the sort of things that I see, or one of the exercises that I was given to me when I took my Econ 101 class many, many years ago, was to just look at articles and see if they actually don't hold up to economic arguments. It was really easy to find articles like that. No, on social media, there's a ton of this stuff that is just detached from reality. And I think about, why is that the case? How are we so wrong on that? I think, there's sort of two things. Is that, I think people ultimately should be held responsible, and that if they choose to think about things, or they choose to sort of come to terms with different degrees of you thinking of business or the economy, is that they probably need to actually do a little bit of investigation first. And I'm going to tell you, I don't do that all the time. In fact, that's human nature, right? But the detachment that I see from where many people stand and where things are, it's just really bizarre. I think we live in an environment that's heavily marketed to by credit cards and loans and things like just people marketing really somewhat toxic things to us. And a lot of people have not been taught that these are not necessarily good tools. They're not assets for us to actually own. And where we come up with something that is valuable, something that provides, that actually makes money, it's not getting loans. It's not some sort of complicated thing. And I think if you're really grounded in actually doing business, right? You actually go and do business, whatever that might be, right? Like you go and try to sell lemonade. You make cookies and sell it. You chop wood, for example. You do really basic things, like super basic things. You have a very profound understanding of where business or where things value comes from, how to make money, things like that. And it's not it's not from many of the things that people talk about. It's very straightforward. And if you have that more practical understanding, you're often a lot more grounded with what is going on in the business world, what is going on in the economy. And it's really strange to me, right? Like how we could be so detached from actual reality to real what is actually going on in the sort of stories that we tell us or tell ourselves when we listen to whether it's whether it's bank information, like bank marketing and things like this, that they're marketing tools, right? You have to look at that and realize that those are marketing tools to you. They're not necessarily something that will provide value for you, not for everybody. And I think we need to be really careful with that. And we think we need to, take a step back and look at what it actually is. I guess my point is that there's always going to be room for education about business and economics and all sorts of different things. You name the fields, it is never going to be ending. It's not, this sort of myth that AI and having available information is going to change everything. It doesn't, because people are not incentivized just to do things just for the heck of it or just for the sheer enjoyment of it. We've had unlimited information in the form of libraries for many, many years, and it hasn't changed things that much. So we just have to be very cognizant of the fact that there's still a lot of room for improvement. It's going to go on for a long time. And I think with the state of social media, where it's been very good in terms of democratizing information distribution, but there's bads to democratizing information distribution, because anybody can have a say, no matter what their particular education level or their understanding. It's not necessarily education level, but just their understanding of the world around them in terms of basic understanding. And I'm always an advocate of very, very practical information, practical understanding, because it all is everything. Anytime that I start hearing really complicated things, I'm very nervous. Everything is very simple when you boil it down. It all works in very similar ways, and there's basic ways to understand the world, and yet many of us just choose not to understand things. Anyways, it's kind of interesting, the state of the world with business and economics understanding.